Producing a film can be a challenging and complex process, and even experienced filmmakers can make mistakes. Here are some of the most common mistakes made during the film production process and how to avoid them. Poor planning. Poor planning is a common mistake made during film production. It is essential to have a clear and detailed plan for each stage of the production process, including pre-production, production, and post-production. This plan should include a timeline, budget, and a list of essential equipment and personnel. Insufficient budget. Another common mistake is having an insufficient budget for the production. It is important to allocate enough funds for all aspects of the production, including equipment, location rental, personnel, and post-production. A lack of funds can result in a compromised final product. Lack of communication. Effective communication is crucial to the success of any film production. Poor communication between the director, cast, and crew can result in misunderstandings and errors that can negatively impact the final product. It is essential to ensure that everyone involved in the production is clear about their roles, responsibilities, and deadlines. Rushing the production. Rushing the production process is a common mistake that can lead to subpar results. It is important to take the necessary time to plan, shoot, and edit the film properly. Rushing the process can result in errors, missed shots, and poor post-production work. Inadequate location scouting. Location scouting is an important part of the pre-production process. Inadequate scouting can lead to problems such as poor lighting, bad acoustics, and insufficient space for equipment and personnel. It is essential to visit and evaluate potential locations in person to ensure they are suitable for filming. Poor casting. Poor casting is a common mistake made during the production process. Choosing the wrong actors can result in poor performances and an overall lack of believability in the film. It is important to take the time to audition actors and select those who are most suitable for the roles. Neglecting post-production. Post-production is an essential part of the film production process that is often neglected. Neglecting post-production can result in poor sound quality, poor color correction, and poor visual effects. It is important to allocate sufficient time and resources for post-production work to ensure the final product is of high quality. Overusing visual effects. Overusing visual effects can detract from the story and make the film feel less immersive and believable. It is important to use visual effects wisely and sparingly, focusing on those that will enhance the story and add to the emotional impact of the film. Focusing too much on technical aspects. Focusing too much on technical aspects of the production can detract from the story and emotional impact of the film. While technical aspects such as camera work and sound quality are important, it is essential to focus on the story and characters to create a more engaging and memorable film. Failure to learn from mistakes. Finally, failing to learn from mistakes is a common mistake made during film production. Every production is a learning opportunity, and it is important to take the time to evaluate what went wrong and how to improve in the future. In conclusion, producing a film can be a complex and challenging process, and avoiding common mistakes can be critical to the success of the final product. By planning properly, allocating sufficient resources, communicating effectively, taking the necessary time, and focusing on the story and characters, you can create a more engaging and memorable film. Remember to learn from mistakes and take every opportunity to improve your skills and knowledge as a filmmaker. One of the most common mistakes made during the film production process is having an insufficient budget. Filmmaking can be an expensive process, and without a proper budget, it can be difficult to produce a high-quality film. Here are some of the effects of an insufficient budget on film production. Compromised equipment. One of the most significant effects of an insufficient budget is the lack of access to quality equipment. Without enough funds, it can be challenging to acquire the necessary cameras, lighting, and sound equipment required to produce a high-quality film. As a result, the production may be forced to use lower quality equipment or make do with what they have, which can negatively affect the final product. Limited locations. Another effect of an insufficient budget is limited access to locations. Locations are an essential aspect of any film, and without enough funds, the production may be unable to secure the locations necessary to bring the story to life. This can result in a lack of variety in the settings of the film, making it feel less immersive and engaging. Reduced production value. An insufficient budget can also reduce the overall production value of the film. This can be seen in the lack of attention to detail in areas such as costumes, makeup, and set design, resulting in a less believable and less visually appealing film. Reduced post-production quality. Post-production is a critical part of the filmmaking process, and a lack of funds can result in reduced quality in areas such as sound mixing, color correction, and visual effects. This can make the film feel less polished and less professional, negatively impacting its reception by audiences and critics. Lower quality cast and crew. With an insufficient budget, it can be difficult to attract high-quality talent. This can result in a less experienced cast and crew, leading to a less polished and less engaging final product. Rushing the production process is a common mistake made during film production. It occurs when filmmakers try to complete the project as quickly as possible, neglecting to take the necessary time to plan, shoot, and edit the film properly. Here are some of the effects of rushing the production process. Missed shots and errors. When filmmakers rush the production process, they may miss crucial shots or make errors that negatively impact the final product. This can result in scenes that feel incomplete, confusing, or disconnected from the rest of the film, making it difficult for audiences to follow the story. Poorly lit scenes. Rushing the production process can also lead to poorly lit scenes. Lighting is a critical aspect of any film, and without enough time to set up and adjust lighting equipment, scenes can be poorly lit or overexposed, making it difficult to see the action on screen. Inadequate sound quality. Sound quality is another critical aspect of any film, and rushing the production process can result in poor sound quality. Without enough time to set up and adjust sound equipment or record adequate sound, dialogue may be muffled or difficult to hear, making it challenging for audiences to follow the story. Lack of attention to detail. When filmmakers rush the production process, they may neglect to pay attention to details such as props, costumes, and set design. This can result in scenes that feel incomplete or unpolished, detracting from the overall quality of the film.
Film editing is an essential aspect of the film production process. One of the most crucial techniques used in film editing is cutting and splicing. Cutting and splicing involves removing footage from a scene and replacing it with new footage to create a seamless and polished final product. Here are some tips and techniques for executing cutting and splicing in film. Start with a plan. Before beginning the cutting and splicing process, it is essential to start with a plan. This plan should include a detailed outline of the scene, a rough cut of the footage, and a timeline for the final product. Use the right tools. Using the right tools is crucial to the success of the cutting and splicing process. This includes editing software such as Adobe Premiere, Avid, or Final Cut Pro, which allows for precise cutting and splicing of footage. Cut to the rhythm. When cutting and splicing footage, it is essential to cut to the rhythm of the scene. This means paying attention to the pace and tempo of the footage and ensuring that the cuts match the flow of the scene. Pay attention to continuity. Continuity is crucial in film editing. When cutting and splicing footage, it is essential to pay attention to details such as character movement, lighting, and camera angle to ensure that the cuts are seamless and don't detract from the overall quality of the scene. Use transitions thoughtfully. Transitions such as cuts, fades, and dissolves can be used to add a visual element to the cutting and splicing process. However, it is essential to use transitions thoughtfully and not overuse them, as they can become distracting and take away from the overall impact of the scene. Experiment with montage. Montage is a technique where multiple shots are combined to create a sequence that tells a story or conveys an idea. It can be a powerful tool when used thoughtfully in the cutting and splicing process. Collaborate with your team. Collaboration is crucial in film editing. It is essential to work closely with your team, including your director and cinematographer, to ensure that everyone is on the same page and working towards the same goals. Edit for emotional impact. Finally, when cutting and splicing footage, it is essential to edit for emotional impact. This means paying attention to the overall tone and mood of the scene and ensuring that the cuts contribute to the emotional impact of the final product. In conclusion, cutting and splicing is a crucial technique used in film editing. By starting with a plan, using the right tools, cutting to the rhythm, paying attention to continuity, using transitions thoughtfully, experimenting with montage, collaborating with your team, and editing for emotional impact, you can create a polished and seamless final product that engages and captivates audiences. Remember to approach the cutting and splicing process with intention and care, paying attention to the details that make a scene memorable and impactful. With practice and dedication, you can master the art of cutting and splicing in film editing. Using the right tools is crucial when it comes to cutting and splicing footage in film editing. Editing software, such as Adobe Premiere, Avid, or Final Cut Pro, is essential for precise cutting and splicing of footage. These software programs offer a range of features and tools to help you achieve the desired result. For example, they offer different types of cuts such as standard cuts, cross cuts, and jump cuts. They also provide the option to use various transitions such as fades, dissolves, wipes, and slides. Another important tool for cutting and splicing is the timeline. The timeline is where you place and arrange your footage, making it easier to see how the shots fit together and how they flow. The timeline allows you to view and edit multiple shots simultaneously, giving you a more comprehensive view of the scene you are editing. Other tools that can be helpful when cutting and splicing footage include the razor tool, which allows you to make precise cuts in your footage. And the slip tool, which lets you change the in and out points of your footage without changing the overall length of the clip. Additionally, color correction and grading tools are important for ensuring that your footage looks consistent and polished. These tools can help you adjust the color temperature, brightness, contrast, and saturation of your footage to make it look more visually appealing. When it comes to selecting the right tools for cutting and splicing, it is important to consider your budget and the specific needs of your project. While some editing software can be expensive, there are also free or lower-cost options available that can still provide the necessary features for cutting and splicing. Cutting to the rhythm is an essential technique used in film editing to create a seamless and polished final product. It involves paying attention to the pace and tempo of the footage and ensuring that the cuts match the flow of the scene. One of the most important aspects of cutting to the rhythm is identifying the beat of the scene. This beat can be a musical beat or simply the rhythm of the action taking place in the scene. Once you have identified the beat, you can use it as a guide for where to make your cuts. Timing is also critical when cutting to the rhythm. The length of the shots and the timing of the cuts should be adjusted to match the rhythm of the scene. For example, if the scene is fast-paced, the shots should be shorter, and the cuts should be quicker to match the tempo. Conversely, if the scene is slower, the shots should be longer, and the cuts should be slower and more deliberate. It is also important to use sound as a guide when cutting to the rhythm. The sound effects, music, and dialogue in a scene can help you identify the rhythm and make cuts that match the pace of the sound. For example, if there is a loud explosion, you might cut to a different shot as the sound reaches its peak. Cutting to the rhythm can also be used to create tension and build momentum. For example, in an action scene, you might start with longer shots to establish the environment and then gradually cut to shorter shots as the action intensifies, building up to a climax. Transitions are an important aspect of film editing that can add a visual element to the cutting and splicing process. However, it is crucial to use transitions thoughtfully and not overuse them, as they can become distracting and take away from the overall impact of the scene. There are several types of transitions that can be used in film editing, including cuts, fades, dissolves, wipes, and slides. Each type of transition has a different effect on the scene and can be used to convey a specific mood or emotion. Cuts are the most common type of transition and involve a sudden switch from one shot to another. Cuts can be used to create a sense of urgency or to emphasize a particular action or movement. Editing and completing your film, tips for success. The process of editing and completing a film is a critical phase in the film production process. This is where the raw footage is transformed into a cohesive and polished film. In this article, we will explore some tips for successful film editing and completing. Plan your editing process. Before beginning the editing process, it's important to have a clear plan. This includes creating a detailed shot list, developing a timeline, and deciding on the desired tone and style of the final film. By having a plan, filmmakers can stay focused and organized throughout the editing process. Select the best takes. When selecting takes for the final film, it's important to choose the best performances, shots, and angles. This involves reviewing all the footage and selecting the best takes based on factors such as performance, composition, and lighting. It's important to keep the final vision of the film in mind when making these decisions. Structure your story. The structure of the story is crucial to the success of the film. This involves arranging the scenes in a way that creates a clear and compelling narrative. This can be achieved by using techniques such as pacing, foreshadowing, and thematic elements. It's important to keep the audience engaged and invested in the story throughout the film. Pay attention to sound. Sound is an essential aspect of film editing. This includes dialogue, music, and sound effects. The sound should be mixed in a way that enhances the story and creates the desired mood and atmosphere. It's important to use high-quality sound equipment and work with experienced sound designers to achieve the desired sound. Use visual effects judiciously. Visual effects can be a powerful tool in film editing, but they should be used judiciously. Visual effects should enhance the story and not distract from it. It's important to use high-quality visual effects that are seamless and natural-looking. Color grade your film. Color grading is an important aspect of film editing that can help to enhance the mood and tone of the film. This involves adjusting the color, contrast, and brightness of the footage to create a consistent look and feel. It's important to work with experienced colorists to achieve the desired look. Finalize the audio mix. The final step in film editing is finalizing the audio mix. This involves balancing the sound levels and adjusting the sound effects and music to create a cohesive and polished final product. It's important to work with experienced audio engineers to achieve the desired sound. In conclusion, successful film editing and completing requires careful planning, attention to detail, and a focus on storytelling. By planning the editing process, selecting the best takes, structuring the story, paying attention to sound, using visual effects judiciously, color grading the film, and finalizing the audio mix, filmmakers can create a cohesive and polished final product that engages, entertains, and resonates with audiences. With these tips, filmmakers can turn their raw footage into a cinematic masterpiece. Planning the editing process is crucial for successful film editing. A well-planned editing process can help to ensure that the final product meets the vision of the filmmaker, is polished and cohesive, and is completed on time and within budget. Here are some tips for planning the editing process. Set goals. The first step in planning the editing process is to set clear goals for the final product. This can include determining the desired length of the film, the style and tone, and any specific visual or audio effects that are desired. Having clear goals can help to guide the editing process and ensure that the final product meets the desired specifications. Create a shot list. A shot list is a detailed list of all the footage that was captured during production. This can include notes on the location, camera angle, and any specific actions or dialogue that occurred during the shot. Having a shot list can help to ensure that all the footage is reviewed and that the best takes are selected for the final product. Develop a timeline. Developing a timeline is essential for ensuring that the editing process stays on track and that the final product is completed on time. The timeline should include specific milestones for the editing process, such as the rough cut, picture lock, and final sound mix. It should also take into account any deadlines or release dates for the film. Consider the audience. When planning the editing process, it's important to consider the audience for the film. This can include the demographic, interests, and preferences of the audience. By understanding the audience, filmmakers can tailor the editing process to create a product that will resonate with viewers. Choose the right editing software. Choosing the right editing software is essential for successful film editing. The software should be able to handle the specific needs of the project, such as the desired output format, the level of complexity of the project, and any specific visual or audio effects that are desired. It's important to choose software that is reliable, efficient, and easy to use. Work with experienced editors. Working with experienced editors is an important aspect of successful film editing. Experienced editors can provide valuable insight and guidance throughout the editing process, and can help to ensure that the final product is polished and cohesive. It's important to choose editors who have experience in the specific genre or style of the film. Selecting the best takes is a crucial aspect of film editing. Choosing the right takes can help to ensure that the final product is polished, cohesive, and engaging. Here are some tips for selecting the best takes. Watch all footage. Before selecting the best takes, it's important to watch all the footage that was captured during production. This can include reviewing raw footage, dailies, and other materials. Watching all the footage can help to ensure that the best performances, shots, and angles are selected for the final product.
Unique filmmaking: how to develop a creative mindset for film production. In the competitive world of film production, standing out from the crowd is essential. To create a successful and unique film, it is crucial to have a creative mindset and approach to filmmaking. In this article, we will explore some tips and techniques for developing a unique and creative approach to film production. Start with a clear concept. To create a unique and successful film, it is important to start with a clear concept. The concept should be original and fresh, and it should be something that excites you as a filmmaker. Spend time brainstorming and exploring ideas that are outside of the box. Consider what makes your film different from others in the same genre or style. Research and draw inspiration. Research and drawing inspiration from other sources is an essential part of developing a unique approach to filmmaking. Take time to study films that inspire you and explore different genres and styles. Look to other art forms, such as painting or music, for inspiration. By exploring different ideas and styles, you can develop a unique perspective on filmmaking. Embrace experimentation. Experimentation is an essential part of developing a unique approach to filmmaking. Don't be afraid to try new techniques or approaches. Experimentation can help you to discover new and interesting ways of telling a story, and it can help you to create a unique visual style. Collaborate with others. Collaborating with other filmmakers and creatives can help you to develop a unique approach to filmmaking. Working with others can bring new ideas and perspectives to the table, and it can help you to explore different styles and techniques. Collaborating can also help you to refine your ideas and bring them to life. Challenge your assumptions. To develop a unique approach to filmmaking, it is important to challenge your assumptions about the filmmaking process. Don't be afraid to question the status quo and explore new ways of doing things. By challenging your assumptions, you can discover new techniques and approaches that can help you to create something truly unique. Incorporate personal experiences and emotions. Incorporating personal experiences and emotions into your filmmaking can help you to create something truly unique and personal. Draw on your own experiences and emotions to inform the story and characters. By incorporating personal elements, you can create a film that is truly unique and authentic. Focus on the storytelling. At the heart of any successful and unique film is a strong story. Focus on the storytelling, and let the story inform your approach to filmmaking. By focusing on the story, you can create a film that is both unique and engaging. In conclusion, developing a unique and creative mindset is essential for successful and unique filmmaking. By starting with a clear concept, researching and drawing inspiration, embracing experimentation, collaborating with others, challenging your assumptions, incorporating personal experiences and emotions, and focusing on the storytelling, you can create a film that is truly unique and memorable. By developing a unique approach to filmmaking, you can stand out from the crowd and create something that is truly special. Starting with a clear concept is a crucial first step in developing a unique approach to filmmaking. The concept is essentially the foundation upon which the film will be built, and it will guide the creative decisions made throughout the production process. Here are some tips for starting with a clear concept. Brainstorm and explore ideas. To develop a clear concept, it's important to spend time brainstorming and exploring different ideas. This process can involve researching other films, reading books or articles, and discussing ideas with others. The goal is to find a concept that is original, fresh, and exciting. Define your target audience. Defining your target audience is another important aspect of developing a clear concept. Understanding who your film is intended for can help to shape the story, characters, and overall style of the film. For example, a film aimed at a young adult audience might have a different tone and style than a film aimed at a more mature audience. Consider the genre and style. The genre and style of the film will also play a role in shaping the concept. Different genres have different conventions and expectations, and it's important to consider these when developing the concept. For example, a horror film will likely have a darker and more ominous concept than a romantic comedy. Identify the key themes and messages. Identifying the key themes and messages of the film is another important aspect of developing a clear concept. The themes and messages should be relevant and meaningful to the target audience, and they should be woven into the story and characters in a subtle and effective way. Create a strong logline. A logline is a brief summary of the concept that captures the essence of the film in a few sentences. Creating a strong logline can help to clarify the concept and make it more tangible. The logline should be concise, clear, and engaging, and it should capture the unique aspects of the film. By starting with a clear concept, filmmakers can lay the foundation for a unique and engaging film. The concept should be original, fresh, and exciting, and it should be guided by the target audience, genre, style, themes, and messages. A strong logline can help to clarify the concept and make it more tangible, and it can guide the creative decisions made throughout the production process. Research and drawing inspiration are essential aspects of developing a unique approach to filmmaking. Research can help filmmakers to gain a deeper understanding of the genre, style, and techniques used in films, while drawing inspiration can help to fuel creativity and generate new ideas. Here are some tips for researching and drawing inspiration. Watch films in the genre and style. Watching films in the same genre and style as your own can provide valuable insights into the conventions, techniques, and storytelling methods used in these films. This research can help you to understand what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked, and what you can do differently to create a unique and engaging film. Read books and articles. Reading books and articles about film can also provide valuable insights into the filmmaking process. Books and articles can cover topics such as storytelling, character development, visual storytelling, and filmmaking techniques. By reading widely, filmmakers can gain a broader understanding of the art and craft of filmmaking. Explore other art forms. Exploring other art forms, such as painting, photography, music, and literature, can also provide inspiration for filmmaking. The basic steps for filmmaking. Filmmaking is an art that requires a lot of planning, creativity, and attention to detail. Whether you're creating a short film, a music video, or a feature-length movie, there are some basic steps that you need to follow in order to produce a high-quality film. In this article, we'll explore the basic steps for filmmaking. Develop a concept. The first step in filmmaking is to develop a concept for your film. This can include a storyline, a theme, or a message that you want to convey through your film. You should spend time brainstorming ideas and exploring different options until you settle on a concept that you're happy with. Write a script. Once you have a concept for your film, the next step is to write a script. This involves developing a detailed outline of the story, including dialogue, character descriptions, and action scenes. You should also consider the pacing and tone of the film when writing the script. Plan the production. Planning the production is a crucial aspect of filmmaking. This involves identifying the locations, actors, and equipment that you'll need for the film. You should also create a shooting schedule and a budget for the production. Pre-production. Before shooting begins, there is a pre-production phase where the logistics are finalized. This includes casting actors, scouting locations, and gathering equipment. It's also time to create storyboards, which are visual representations of each shot in the film. This allows for the entire team to have a clear idea of what the final product will look like. Shooting the film. Once pre-production is complete, it's time to start shooting the film. This involves setting up equipment, blocking actors, and shooting scenes according to the script. It's important to be efficient with time and resources during the shooting process, and to make sure that you capture all of the necessary footage. Editing the film. Once all of the footage has been captured, the next step is to edit the film. This involves selecting the best takes, arranging the scenes in the desired order, and adding any necessary visual or audio effects. The editing process can take a significant amount of time and requires attention to detail. Sound mixing and color grading. The final steps in filmmaking involve sound mixing and color grading. Sound mixing involves adjusting the sound levels, adding sound effects, and creating a final audio mix. Color grading involves adjusting the color, contrast, and brightness of the footage to create a consistent look and feel. In conclusion, filmmaking is a complex process that requires careful planning, attention to detail, and a lot of hard work. By following these basic steps, you can create a high-quality film that engages, entertains, and resonates with audiences. Whether you're a seasoned filmmaker or just starting out, these steps provide a solid foundation for creating a successful film. Developing a concept is a critical first step in filmmaking. A strong concept can serve as the foundation for the entire production, guiding decisions on everything from script writing to casting to cinematography. Here are some tips for developing a concept. Brainstorm ideas. Start by brainstorming ideas for your film. Consider your own interests and passions, as well as current trends in the film industry. Research successful films in the genre or style you're interested in and try to identify what makes them compelling. Define your message. Consider the message you want to convey through your film. What do you want audiences to take away from the experience? This can help to guide decisions on everything from the storyline to the visual elements of the film. Consider the genre. Think about the genre or style of film you want to create. This can help to provide a framework for your concept and ensure that it resonates with your intended audience. Consider elements such as pacing, tone, and visual style. Develop a unique twist. To stand out in a crowded market, it's important to develop a unique twist or angle for your film. This can help to make your concept more memorable and engaging. Consider ways to put a fresh spin on established themes or genres. Consider budget and resources. When developing a concept, it's important to consider the budget and resources that you have available. This can help to ensure that your concept is realistic and feasible within your constraints. Refine your concept. Once you have a basic concept for your film, take the time to refine it. Consider the feedback of others and make adjustments as necessary. Refining your concept can help to ensure that it is compelling, unique, and achievable. Planning the production is a critical step in the filmmaking process. A well-planned production can help to ensure that the final product is of high quality, stays on schedule, and stays within budget. Here are some tips for planning the production. Create a shooting schedule. The first step in planning the production is to create a shooting schedule. This involves identifying the scenes that need to be shot, determining the order in which they will be shot, and allocating time for each scene. Consider factors such as location availability, actor availability, and time of day when creating the schedule. Identify required equipment. Identify the equipment that will be required for the production. This can include cameras, lighting equipment, sound equipment, and props. Ensure that all equipment is in good working order and is available when needed. Hire a production team. Hire a production team that includes a director, cinematographer, sound engineer, and other necessary crew members. Ensure that each team member is skilled and experienced in their area of expertise.
Experience and tips for filmmaking. Filmmaking is an exciting and rewarding art form, but it can also be challenging and demanding. From pre-production to post-production, there are many aspects to consider when creating a high-quality film. In this article, we'll explore some tips and experiences to help you become a better filmmaker. Plan and prepare. One of the most important things you can do to ensure a successful film production is to plan and prepare thoroughly. This includes developing a clear concept and storyline, creating a production plan and schedule, and securing the necessary resources and equipment. Proper planning and preparation can save time and reduce stress during the actual filming process. Collaborate and communicate. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort, and effective communication is essential to its success. It's important to work closely with your cast and crew, provide clear and concise instructions, and address any concerns or issues as they arise. This can help to ensure that everyone is on the same page and that the production stays on schedule. Use the right equipment. Using the right equipment is essential to producing high-quality footage. This includes cameras, lighting equipment, sound equipment, and other tools that are necessary for the production. It's important to select equipment that is appropriate for the type of film you're creating, and to ensure that it is in good working order. Stay flexible and adapt to changes. Filmmaking is a dynamic process, and unexpected changes and challenges are bound to arise. It's important to stay flexible and adapt to changes as they occur. This can include changes to the shooting schedule, location, or weather conditions. By being adaptable, you can maintain momentum and ensure that the production stays on track. Capture strong performances. The quality of your actors' performances can make or break a film. It's important to spend time rehearsing with your cast, providing feedback, and creating a comfortable and supportive environment for them to work in. Additionally, it's important to capture multiple takes of each scene to ensure that you have a variety of options during the editing process. Pay attention to sound. Sound is an often overlooked aspect of filmmaking, but it can have a significant impact on the final product. It's important to use high-quality sound equipment, capture clean audio, and minimize background noise during filming. Additionally, it's important to consider the sound design during the post-production process to ensure that it enhances the overall story and mood of the film. Edit thoughtfully. The editing process is where your footage is transformed into a cohesive and engaging story. It's important to edit thoughtfully, considering pacing, transitions, and the overall structure of the film. Additionally, it's important to pay attention to color grading and sound design during the editing process to ensure that the final product is visually and aurally consistent. In conclusion, filmmaking is a complex and challenging process, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. By planning and preparing thoroughly, collaborating and communicating effectively, using the right equipment, staying flexible and adaptable, capturing strong performances, paying attention to sound, and editing thoughtfully, you can create a high-quality film that engages and resonates with your audience. Remember to stay creative and open-minded throughout the filmmaking process, and to use each experience as an opportunity to learn and grow as a filmmaker. Collaboration and communication are crucial elements of successful filmmaking. Whether you're working with a small team or a large production, it's essential to establish clear lines of communication and create a supportive and collaborative environment. Here are some tips for collaborating and communicating effectively during a film production. Establish clear roles and responsibilities. One of the first steps in effective collaboration is establishing clear roles and responsibilities for each member of the team. This can help to avoid confusion and ensure that everyone knows what is expected of them. Be sure to communicate these roles and responsibilities clearly, and be open to adjusting them as necessary to accommodate changing circumstances. Foster a supportive environment. Creating a supportive and collaborative environment is key to ensuring that everyone is motivated and engaged in the filmmaking process. Encourage open communication and constructive feedback, and create a space where everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas and opinions. Communicate regularly and effectively. Regular and effective communication is essential to a successful production. This includes daily check-ins, team meetings, and updates on the progress of the production. Make sure to use clear and concise language, and be open to feedback and suggestions from your team. Be flexible and adaptable. Filmmaking is a dynamic process, and unexpected challenges are bound to arise. It's important to be flexible and adaptable, and to communicate any changes or adjustments to the team in a timely and effective manner. This can help to avoid confusion and ensure that the production stays on track. Encourage creativity and collaboration. Encouraging creativity and collaboration can help to spark new ideas and approaches to filmmaking. Allow team members to contribute their unique perspectives and ideas, and create opportunities for collaboration and brainstorming. Address conflict effectively. Conflict is inevitable in any collaborative effort, but it's important to address it effectively to avoid negative impacts on the production. Encourage open communication and actively work to resolve any conflicts that arise. Using a collaborative and constructive approach. Collaboration and communication are crucial elements of successful filmmaking. Whether you're working with a small team or a large production, it's essential to establish clear lines of communication and create a supportive and collaborative environment. Here are some tips for collaborating and communicating effectively during a film production. Establish clear roles and responsibilities. One of the first steps in effective collaboration is establishing clear roles and responsibilities for each member of the team. This can help to avoid confusion and ensure that everyone knows what is expected of them. Be sure to communicate these roles and responsibilities clearly, and be open to adjusting them as necessary to accommodate changing circumstances. Foster a supportive environment. Creating a supportive and collaborative environment is key to ensuring that everyone is motivated and engaged in the filmmaking process. Encourage open communication and constructive feedback, and create a space where everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas and opinions. Communicate regularly and effectively. Regular and effective communication is essential to a successful production. This includes daily check-ins, team meetings, and updates on the progress of the production. Make sure to use clear and concise language, and be open to feedback and suggestions from your team. Be flexible and adaptable. Filmmaking is a dynamic process, and unexpected challenges are bound to arise. Creating an epic film that leaves a lasting impact on your audience requires a combination of creativity, skill, and attention to detail. Here are some tips for creating a truly epic film. Develop a clear concept. The first step in creating an epic film is to develop a clear concept that captures the imagination of your audience. This can involve exploring unique themes, creating compelling characters, or using imaginative settings and visuals to bring your story to life. Create a memorable soundtrack. A memorable soundtrack is an essential part of creating an epic film. By using powerful music and sound effects, you can create a sense of emotion and drama that draws your audience into the story and creates a lasting impact. Use visual effects wisely. Visual effects can be a powerful tool for creating an epic film, but they should be used wisely and sparingly. Overusing visual effects can detract from the story and make the film feel less immersive and believable. Instead, Use visual effects to enhance the story and create a sense of wonder and awe. Use cinematography to create a sense of scale. Cinematography is an essential part of creating an epic film. By using wide shots and sweeping camera movements, you can create a sense of scale and grandeur that draws your audience into the story and creates a sense of awe and wonder. Create compelling characters. Creating compelling characters is an essential part of creating an epic film. By giving your characters distinct personalities and motivations, you can create a sense of emotional depth and investment in the story. Pay attention to detail. Paying attention to detail is essential when creating an epic film. Every aspect of the film, from the costumes and set design to the lighting and sound effects, should be carefully considered and executed to create a cohesive and immersive experience for your audience. Use foreshadowing and symbolism. Foreshadowing and symbolism can be powerful tools for creating an epic film. By using subtle hints and symbols throughout the film, you can create a sense of mystery and anticipation that draws your audience into the story and creates a lasting impact. Focus on the story. At the heart of every epic film is a compelling story that captures the imagination of your audience. While visual effects and other elements can enhance the story, they should never overshadow it. Make sure to focus on creating a compelling and engaging story that keeps your audience invested from beginning to end. In conclusion, creating an epic film requires a combination of creativity, skill, and attention to detail. By developing a clear concept, creating a memorable soundtrack, using visual effects wisely, using cinematography to create a sense of scale, creating compelling characters, paying attention to detail, using foreshadowing and symbolism, and focusing on the story, you can create a film that leaves a lasting impact on your audience and stands the test of time. Remember to approach each aspect of the film with creativity and intention, and to use each opportunity to create a more immersive and engaging cinematic experience for your audience. Creating a memorable soundtrack is an essential part of making an impactful and emotionally engaging film. A great soundtrack can enhance the mood, tone, and pacing of a film, as well as add an extra layer of meaning and emotion to the story. Here are some tips for creating a memorable soundtrack for your film. Work with a composer. Working with a composer can help you create a unique and original soundtrack that is tailored to your film. A composer can work with you to create music that fits the tone and mood of your film, and can add their own creative input and expertise to enhance the music and its impact. Use music to enhance the story. Music can be used to enhance the story and add emotional depth to your film. For example, a slow, melancholy piece of music can be used to emphasize the sadness or loss of a character or situation, while a fast, upbeat piece can be used to create tension or excitement. Use music to create a theme. A memorable theme can be a powerful tool for creating a memorable soundtrack. A theme can be a recurring musical motif that represents a character, an emotion, or an idea in the film. By using a theme throughout the film, you can create a sense of cohesion and unity, as well as adding a layer of emotional depth to the story. Pay attention to pacing. The pacing of the soundtrack is also an essential part of creating a memorable soundtrack. By using music to enhance the pacing of the film, you can create a sense of momentum and tension that keeps your audience engaged from beginning to end. Use sound effects to enhance the music. Sound effects can be used to enhance the impact of the music in your film. For example, the sound of a clock ticking or a heart beating can add tension and excitement to a piece of music, while the sound of waves crashing or birds singing can add a sense of calm and tranquility. Use a variety of instruments and sounds. Using a variety of instruments and sounds can help you create a unique and memorable soundtrack. By combining different types of instruments, such as strings, percussion, and brass, you can create a rich and diverse musical landscape that enhances the emotional impact of the film. Use music to create contrast. Contrast is an important element in creating a memorable soundtrack. By using music to create contrast, you can create a sense of tension and excitement that draws your audience into the story. For example, using a fast-paced, energetic piece of music after a slow and melancholy scene can create a sense of contrast and excitement that keeps your audience engaged. Visual effects can be a powerful tool for creating an epic film, but they should be used wisely and sparingly. Overusing visual effects can detract from the story and make the film feel less immersive and believable. Here are some tips for using visual effects effectively. Use visual effects to enhance the story. The primary purpose of visual effects is to enhance the story, not distract from it. When deciding which visual effects to use, focus on those that will enhance the story and add to the emotional impact of the film. Use visual effects to create a sense of scale. Visual effects can be used to create a sense of scale and grandeur that draws your audience into the story. For example, using visual effects to create a large and impressive landscape can create a sense of awe and wonder in your audience. Use visual effects to create emotion. Visual effects can also be used to create emotion in your audience. For example, using visual effects to enhance a character's emotions or reactions can create a sense of empathy and connection with the character. Use visual effects to create imagination. Visual effects can be used to create a sense of imagination and creativity in your audience. For example, using visual effects to create unique and imaginative creatures or settings can add a layer of depth and immersion to the story. Use visual effects to create atmosphere. Visual effects can also be used to create atmosphere and tone in your film. For example, using visual effects to create a dark and ominous setting can create a sense of tension and fear in your audience. Use visual effects to enhance realism. Visual effects can be used to enhance the realism of your film.